Today on The Explainer, we're diving deep into a really powerful framework from dating coach James Marshall. It's all about tackling that social fear that holds so many of us back. You know, if you've ever felt like you're stuck in a tiny dating pool, even if you live in a huge city, well, his method for reframing what we call approach anxiety could honestly be a total game changer.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to explore this idea of dating in a small village. Then we'll get into the absolute core of this whole thing, the fear reframe. After that, we'll get practical with an action warm-up. And finally, we'll break down the direct approach itself. Let's get right into it.
So what's the actual problem that this entire framework is trying to solve? Well, it all kicks off with this really powerful and I think super relatable metaphor. The idea that you're dating in a small village.
Here's the central concept. Even if you live in a city packed with millions of people, your actual dating world is probably tiny. You're pretty much limited to your friends, maybe your coworkers, or getting lucky with an introduction. You're basically just sitting around, waiting for fate to do you a favor. So this really leaves you with two paths, right? Path one is the passive one. You stick to your little social circle and dating apps, which James Marshall calls a demoralizing video game. The other path? It's active. It's about learning how to approach people in the real world. This is what shifts you from just hoping for luck to actually creating your own abundance, your own choices.
Okay, so if approaching strangers is the key to all this choice, why is it so incredibly terrifying for most of us? This question brings us right to the heart of this method, a complete and total reframe of that feeling we've all agreed to call approach anxiety.
The framework starts by really challenging the term itself. It makes you stop and ask, is calling it anxiety the actual problem here? Are we accidentally turning a perfectly normal feeling into some kind of clinical disorder?
And here is the big reveal. That feeling? It's not a mental disorder. It's not a sign that something is wrong with you. It's a completely normal biological response. It's just your body's alarm system going off because you're about to do something new and unpredictable. It's activation, not anxiety.
And this slide, right here, this is the absolute soul of the reframe. Just think about it for a second. The physical symptoms of anxiety, the butterflies, the heart pounding, the sweaty palms, they are the exact same physical symptoms as excitement. Identical. The only thing that's different is the story you attach to those feelings. It all comes down to the label you choose.
So why do we automatically choose the negative label? The framework has this fantastic, kind of provocative term for it, negative narcissism. It's this bizarre, backwards arrogance where you assume that everyone around you has nothing better to do than watch you and judge your every single move. But the truth? People are the main characters of their own movies, not yours. They're just not paying that much attention. Now, the second huge reframe is all about changing your definition of success. Most of us are taught that success means getting the phone number, and failure is getting rejected. This method just flips that script completely. Here, success is simply taking action. The moment you step outside your comfort zone and say hi, you've already won. You're doing something that 99% of people are too scared to even try.
Okay, so you've got the new mindset, but you can't just think your way into being a social powerhouse, right? You gotta do something. This is where we get really practical with a step-by-step process to build momentum, the action warm-up.
This is the warm-up ladder. It's a series of really small, incremental steps to get you out of your own head. You start with something tiny, just making eye contact for a split second longer than you normally would. Then you add some intention to that look. After that, a simple hi as you walk by, no need to even stop. And finally, a give-and-go compliment. You say, "You look awesome," and you just keep walking. You see? Every step is basically unrejectable. You're just building that social muscle one tiny rep at a time.
So once you've built up a little social momentum with those warm-ups, you're ready for the main event, the approach itself. And the framework lays out a super specific method for this, and it's all built on one single core principle. And that principle is directness. Forget about trying to be sneaky or pretending you need directions when you really just think someone is cute. The whole philosophy here is that being honest and clear about your interest from the jump is way more respectful and, in the end, a lot more effective. It's an entire attitude, not just a script you memorize.
So here it is, broken into 3 simple steps. First, the pre-frame.
This is where you show you have social awareness by just acknowledging the situation is a little unusual. Second, the direct opener, where you clearly state your interest. And third, you pull the trigger by suggesting a way to keep the conversation going, like exchanging numbers.
So what does that actually sound like in the wild? Well, here's one example that uses a little bit of humor to pre-frame the situation. I'm not here to sell you anything or convert you to any religion. I'm here because you look great. It immediately shows you're self-aware and then gets right to the honest point.
And here's another example, this time one that's much more specific. You've got the sexiest walk I've ever seen, so I had to come and say hello to you. Now, what makes a line like this work isn't just that it's bold, it's that it's specific and it's an observation. It signals genuine interest because it feels real, like something you just noticed in that moment.
So let's just pull all of this together. The big ideas are: relabel that anxiety as simple excitement. Realize that fear of judgment is mostly in your head. That's the negative narcissism. Redefine your success as just taking action, period. You build up your confidence using that warm-up ladder, and when you finally approach, you do it directly, you do it honestly, and you do it with social awareness. And this entire framework really leaves us with one final and pretty provocative question. We spend so much time being afraid of risk. But what's the bigger risk, really? A few seconds of a potentially awkward interaction? Or a lifetime of regret, wondering about all the people you never had the courage to meet?